Berlin, the 2022 BMW Berlin Marathon was this past weekend, and it was a fantastic one from what I hear and what I read and what I saw. A lot of great moments at it, especially from Eliud Kipchoge, who of course broke the world record, not only for the Berlin Marathon, but the whole world, and his own personal record, except for the one he did that was on the artificial course, but that one doesn't count. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to talk about who were the top finishers in both the male and female of the 2022 Berlin Marathon. If you're able to watch this live, thank you for being here. If you're able to watch the replay, I appreciate you for watching. And I was able to do a lot of research and find a lot of cool information about this race. It started at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in America. So that was, yeah. So if you're able to check it out, you'd have to get up super early here in America to see that. But I wasn't able to. I was in bed asleep at the time. But so we are going to go over a few things. Okay, first off, fun facts about the 2022 BMW Marathon. These are a few things that I found out about it. It has started in this little journey here. So how many spectators were there? So according to what they said, tens of thousands, but I've heard some broadcasts say over 1 million spectators were on the course cheering on these runners. There were actually 45,527 runners from 157 nations. That's amazing. That's fantastic. So here in America, I'm a big fan of the Los Angeles Marathon, and that has 25,000. So that kind of gives you an idea of how big this marathon is in Berlin. But I want to know, were you at the Berlin Marathon? Do you know anybody that's at the Berlin Marathon? Leave it in the chat or the comments below. I'd love to hear about that experience. How did it go for you? But from what I read, the weather was ideal for fast racing. It was very cool, around 52 degrees and 11 degrees Celsius. So after a night of showers with no more precipitation and no wind. So it sounds like perfect weather for Eliud to have broken that record. So next, we are going to get into who are the fastest. We're going to start with male. We're going to start with females. Let's do with females. So who are the fastest top female finishers of the 2022 Berlin Marathon? Again, let me know if you're in the chat, and if the music is too loud, let me know. I will turn it down. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I think it might be a little bit too much. But here we go. We'll try that. Okay, so who are the top female finishers of the 2022 BMW Berlin Marathon? And it's actually a fantastic race. There's other great things other than Eliud breaking that record. Actually, there's a pretty great race on the female side. But first, let's see who are the top 5 fastest females. Excuse me. That were supposed to be in this race, or that were debuting it. Let's see, the top 5 fastest before this race were first Keira Adole from the USA. Her fastest was 2:19:12 before coming here. Then there was, and I apologize beforehand if I mispronounce any of these names. Gatumi Shon Imana from Ethiopia. She is at 2:20:11 before going into Berlin. Third was Maureen Chepkamoy. She had a 2:20:18. Fourth was Workanesh Edessa, 2:20:24. And the fifth one was Sase Gola. She's a 2:20:50. So it looks like Keira Adole actually had about a 1 minute faster marathon than the other 4 behind her. So she was actually, people had her eyes on her for this marathon. But how did it turn out? Let me see if I can share my screen here, and I'm going to go over it. I want to share you the numbers. Let's see. On the results here, I think it's this one. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let me get over to females. Oh, here they are, female. Okay, So as you see, these top 5 that I announced, actually, none of them finished in what they were expected to finish. The top 2, as you see, were Tigges Assefa from Ethiopia. She's actually the third best time ever for a female on that course, and shattered her personal record by 18 minutes to win the women's marathon in Berlin, and ahead of Kenya's Rosemary Wanjiru and Ethiopia's Tigges Adole. Probably mispronouncing that name. But anyways, Rosemary came in, she had a great finish. What was that, 2:15:37? And what was her, so she was, this is actually her debut. So nobody knew what her performance was going to be. So that was a fantastic debut. Oh my gosh. But second behind her was also another debut. It was Rosemary Wanjiru from Kenya. She had a 2:18. So she finished just closely behind let me see. Let me look at my numbers here. Oh, she finished about 3 minutes after Assefa. So, but then the third place finisher, Abachu Tigges, she finished 3 seconds behind Rosemary. So that was a great finish for the second and third place. But Tigges, her fastest previous time before this was 2:22:45. So she got a PR. So that's fantastic. That's a great race for her. That's very worth celebrating. So yeah, that's awesome. So that's next. Let's go into the males. How did the males do? Let me stop sharing this. Oh no, I'll stay. So I'm gonna stop sharing this for a moment. And then we're gonna go into the males. How did the males do? We already know who won the whole thing, a record breaker. But we're gonna go into the other guys. So, but beforehand, the top 5 fastest males going into the Berlin Marathon were, of course, Eliud Kipchoge with 2:09:39, Guye Adole with 2:03:46, Germain Gebrselassie was 2:05:34, Dejane Debala was 2:05:46, and Mark Kohler was 2:05:49. So Eliud just had a couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes ahead of most of his other competitors in their previous attempts. So the top 3 male finishers. Let me go over here. Let me get rid of this. So the top 3 male finishers were, of course, we'll start with number 3. That was Tadeu Abate, 2:06:28. Then Mark Kohler, 2:05:58. And then, of course, Eliud Kipchoge, who broke his record by 20 seconds and broke the world record. But before that, let's see, Mark Kohler, his fastest was 2:49 before this, so he did not get a PR, but he still finished second, so that's not a bad finish. But actually, going into this race was, let me go here. Let me share my screen here. You guys can see it. Okay, so here's the males. So as you see, that's the finish, the top 10 finishers. So Mark, he was actually placed number 5. He was before this. So yeah, he got up to number 2. Yeah. So let's see. Let's talk about. So leading up to this was, I think the legends were. It was like between Kipchoge and Guye Adole. So what happened to Guye Adole? And with that, we're going to go into our. We're going into other news here. So in 2022 BMW Marathon, other news is Guye Adole actually did not finish. He was a strong, because back in 2017, I believe, he surprised Kipchoge at the very end. I believe he got first in that one. No, I don't think he got first, but he came in second at that one and came up at the end and surprised him. So yeah, Guye Adole never finished. I don't know why. And I went online. I could not find any information why he did not finish. And so if you know why, please leave in the comments below. I'd like to hear about that. But we all have bad days, and maybe that just wasn't his day. What are some interesting news when it comes to the 2022 BMW Berlin Marathon? So, as I told you earlier, the U.S. female Keira, she was actually the fastest female going into this race. And unfortunately, she fell short, breaking her own American marathon record. And she had a very busy year racing, but she still finished at 2:21:48 with a 6th overall. And she said, actually, in a Twitter post, she said, Twitter post I found was, today wasn't my best day, but it was the best I could do today. She also revealed that she actually stopped and walked later in the race, but she still ended up finishing 6th. So that's pretty impressive. You end up walking for a bit and you still end up placing in the top 10. That's amazing. Yeah, so that's other news. So that's interesting. So, were you at the 2022 BMW Berlin Marathon? How was your experience? Were you able to watch it? Were you able to participate? Were you able to be a spectator? I'd like to hear all about it. I do a live stream every Monday where I talk about all things in running, the latest running news, my own personal journey, or just to have a live stream chat with the community. So that is it. I appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. I hope it brought you some value. If it did, I'd appreciate if you'd leave a subscribe and a like and a comment. Let me know what you think about this. And that's that. So I am Anthony, reminding you to keep running for your best life. See you next time.